So I'm here with Ron Whitehurst. Welcome, Ron.
Thank you.
And
It's
Ron,
good to be here.
tell us a little bit about what you do, your work, and your company.
I'm a bug farmer. It's just like any other livestock operation, except we've got millions and millions of head of livestock. They're little livestock, little insects, and they've got 6 legs instead of 4 legs.
Mm-hmm.
But we have all the same problems and concerns as people working with larger animals. Keeping them healthy and making sure that we have the grow the colony and have the bugs available for when people want to buy them. Yep. And then getting them out to our customers. Yep. We put them in little boxes and send them out through the mail, UPS and FedEx, and it's very problematic as far as being able to get them to our customers in good condition.
So what's the name of your company, Ron?
Rincon Vitova Insectaries.
Yeah.
Rincon is the name of a nearby beach. There was the first insectary was a little shack next to a cottage on Rincon Beach. The other insectary was Vitova, a contraction of Vita ova, live egg from the Latin. Hmm. And a UC Riverside professor figured out a way to grow huge quantities of moth eggs that were really great hosts for trichogramma and food for lacewing.
Mm. And then those are used in biological insect control and organic agriculture. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah. So it's a bug-eat-bug world.
Yeah.
So let's go with the flow.
Yeah. And
these bugs are already eating each other, so we'll just kind of pin them against each other, and we'll get the control done without getting our hands dirty.
When did you start? When was this company started?
The company started in 1950. That was
so this is a very early.
Same year that I was born. Yeah.
Very early stages of the development of thinking about organic agriculture with Rodale and those kind of people,
sure.
Right?
Yeah. So near as we can tell, we're the earliest commercial insectary. There's older cooperative and government insectaries, but my father-in-law was the first entrepreneur that was fool enough to try to grow bugs on spec, to grow them before he actually had a market for them.
Yeah. And so, you've seen a lot of changes in the organic industry mm-hmm. now, with the development of the organic standards. And so how have you seen things change in terms of the way, the take up of these ideas of biological farming mm-hmm. and your relationship to those farmers, has that changed from the early days to now?
Yeah. In the old days, we had to work really hard to get a farmer off of that first spray. What's the first spray that he would use to control a particular pest? And if we could avoid the first spray, then we could work on what's the next spray. That once he sprayed that first spray, it would destroy the natural enemy complex, and he would be committed to continuing spraying for the season. And we would work with him to in a sense grow his way into biological control, to plant some flowering plants underneath his, between the citrus trees or along a hedgerow or something like that, so that he could have a habitat for the beneficial insects to grow and develop and to have a resource for their pollen and nectar and some of the pest insects. So now we're working with more and more larger farming operations, some of the big names in producing tree fruit and vegetables and stuff, to help them figure out how to grow their particular fruit or vegetable organically.
Yeah. So you've worked a lot with transition, people that are transitioning from chemical agriculture to biological agriculture. You're kind of maybe one of the first people they go to.
Right, and that's been our traditional role, and that's where we are able to help people the most now, is that if you look at the suggestions for an organic farm plan, you build life in the soil, you build habitat for beneficial insects and so on. So after 3 to 5 years of that, then usually you're growing most of the beneficial insects that you need on the farm by the way that you're farming. Mm. And so, you only rarely need some beneficial insects or some biocontrol agents like, pathogens or nematodes or something like that. When nature throws you a curveball, when too much rain, too little rain, or storm comes through or something.
So essentially, you're always working yourself out of a job.
That's our goal.
Yeah.
We would love this situation where there's no farmers using toxic pesticides that we need to convert.
Yeah.
We're looking forward to that day.
Yeah, yeah. And so so the idea is that you help farmers in this transition, help them the first few years till they develop the biodiversity on their farm, and then nature kind of takes over.
Yeah.
And then you come in with they have a specific problem or something, some weird white flies come up or something like that. You can help them out in whatever way. Yeah.
So you think about that movie Dumbo. The crow gave Dumbo a little feather, and it gave him the confidence, to be able to fly. But it was just a matter of, his intention. And so similarly, we can give these farmer these beneficial insects. We'll eat the pest insects. They have that confidence that they know that they don't need to spray now because the beneficial insects are doing the job.
Yeah.
Then we use this vacuum insect net called the DVAC, short for Dietrich vacuum, that we monitor the insects. We suck the insects off of the crop plant, and we show the farmer that, there's some pest insects, there's some beneficial insects, and then we vacuum insects off of a strip of flowering plants or flowering weeds nearby. And we show them that here's lots and lots of the beneficial insects and very few pests on these flowering plants. And so you have this reservoir of these beneficials that will be moving over into the crop plants to feed on the pests. So you don't need to worry. So we use that as a learning tool.
And I know you're here at Marhesh University of Management, and you've a long-term practitioner of TM and a long-term meditator. How does that affect your work? Is that related to
Number of ways.
Yeah.
In advocacy, sometimes it's very hard to continue going because you get so depressed that, oh my God, I'm putting in all this work and nothing's happening. But with the ability to transcend to the level of being, it gives me confidence that operating from that level of being and connected with all of these other people working around the planet to improve our lot, then I have confidence to continue working and optimism that good things are happening, that we're making progress, and so on. There is some concern that with the rate of climate change that the way it looks, just straight line projection, that we're going to get into some serious problems if we don't, if like half of the people don't become environmentalists, in the next year, and reduce their carbon input, reduce the toxins that are put into their environment, and really work on nourishing or regenerating their little quadrant of paradise, in their neighborhood. That to change everything, we need everybody's help, and so that is the push now, as far from an activist standpoint, and we're seeing a lot more involvement of all these different environmental groups, collaborating, working together, and doing these public relations programs, to engage more and more people to work together to get the job done.
So you're not just a bug guy. You do a lot of other activism as well, a lot of other work in creating the world that of our best aspirations that we all want to move towards. Yeah. Well, thanks a lot. Could you, in closing, could you tell me a little bit about the internship opportunities you might have for students that might go out and work with you in this fantastic work that you're doing there in Ventura?
Our company's mission is to promote biological control by natural enemies, and to do that we need lots of help. And so historically we've always had an open door policy to bring people in and show them what we're doing, and usually they'll go off and figure out how to do it better.
Yeah. So you operate from a very open source model.
Right.
Yeah.
And so if people are willing to learn and willing to put the time and energy into coming and visiting with us and learning with us, then we're open to putting together some kind of relationship that works for both of us.
Great. And well, we hope to get some students working with you, Ron. Real fortunate to have a world leader like you here at MUM working with us in the Sustainable Living Program. Look forward to further developing this relationship, having you come here on a regular basis and teaching and showing students the basic techniques of how this insect ecology works and how we can maybe do some experiments in propagation here so we can learn more about how that all works. So thank you very much, Ron.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Yeah.